All right, family devotions. Today's topic, introducing the first family devotion. Hey kids, it's 6:45 in the morning. I know you're not used to getting up this early, but mommy and daddy thought that it would be best to get up early and start every day by studying God's Word. Yeah, one thing I do know is that there's no better way to turn off your kids, your teenagers, maybe even a spouse, from ever doing family devotions than if you try that way. So what can you do? Here's my suggestion. My suggestion is, look, don't make it a big production. Don't make it an announcement. You don't have to, make appointments and schedule then you find a resource that you use, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But you're at dinner, you're all together as a family, you just pull it out and say, hey, mommy, daddy found this devotion, and it's a Bible story, or we're going to read this Bible verse, and then I got a couple questions for you. And then just do it. That's it. It's as simple as that. You read a story, and then you ask a couple questions. Now here's something that is very important that you can do, is if you're using a resource and you've got some questions, and I'll talk about this in the future, but if you have some printed out questions, you can even give these questions, this resource, to your teenager, or if they're old enough to read, to your kids. Now, especially for teenagers, this tells your kids that this is not going to be another lecture. I mean, this is not going to be, daddy's sermon time. I mean, especially, older kids, they might be thinking, great, I really screwed up last week, and now mommy and daddy, really want to Bible thump me and make this a big production. They really want to use this time as a disciplinary time. But if you can do everything you can to get away from that and not give that impression, and one of those ways is just by letting them ask the questions for the family to answer. And so that is a really, really key, cool ingredient, especially if you have teenagers. But the goal of family devotion is what? It's to come together to learn God's Word together. I mean, when we have family devotion, sometimes my kids, as young as they are, they're 5, 7, 9, and 11, I mean, sometimes they even have ideas and thoughts, things that I didn't even think about. So, use that and tell your kids, I didn't even think about it that way. I mean, great things, great ideas, great things happen when we're just getting into God's Word. My kids love family devotion time. I read a Bible story and I ask some questions. My kids even fight over who gets to sit with daddy. So dads, take advantage of this time. I mean, maybe it's after dinner and your kids want to snuggle up. Maybe it's before bedtime, and you just say, hey guys, I got a story. So let's read this story. I mean, younger kids love this stuff. Don't be afraid to do this, because it really is a really cool thing. So keep it simple, whether it's on the couch, whether it's in their bed laying down. Again, it doesn't need to be a really big production, but wherever you are in the routine of your life, bring God's Word into it. You don't have to spend hours preparing. You just find a resource that's good and that works. Look, the most important thing is that your younger kids want more, and your older kids, and maybe your teenagers, you just want them, when devotion is done, to be thinking to themselves, hey, that wasn't that bad. I mean, truly, let's bring God into the home so they can see that God's alive and God's working, not just on Sunday mornings, but in our homes as well. So if you all take family and faith seriously, bring the two together and make God real in your homes. And your kids will see that. And your kids will see how serious you are about your faith when you're reading God's Word together. Close in prayer, and you're done. Thanks a lot.